Here on Doghouse Esports. Normally, I wouldn't be streaming on a Monday on Doghouse Esports. Normally, I'd be on my own personal channel. But today's a special day because I'm testing something for the actual, for Make Your Destiny, also known as Destiny 2018, which is Roxo's passion project, and it's his major. So with that, let's oh, that's cool. That's alright, let's actually try that one more time. We're gonna go okay, I guess we're not gonna try again. I wanted to try again, but give it a second. Let's see. Alright, I'm just not gonna be able to get that. That's cool. Alright, anyway, so here we go, getting started. So as you can see here, this is the soundboard that we will be using for Destiny. We don't really need that much more, and we apologize that the colors are going to be a bit high, a bit strong, a bit overblown, because we've got a bright light coming from here, which is reflecting off of this gray. But I need it to be this bright, so because of that, we need this bright so this way you could see all of our levels, all that, and you can see all the lights that are going on. So as you can see right here, this is my channel 1 where I'm coming through. Here's channel 2. Channel 2 is currently muted. That's the other mic. So if this were an event, this would be your commentator 1, commentator 2. Now, over here we've got our microamp. The microamp being how I'm able to hear commentator audio and all my other audio while my commentators are commentating. Because I'll end up being in either slot 3 or 4, but because this is a personal stream where I'm the commentator, I don't need to be on one of these monitoring units. So instead, I'm just running through one right here. And these are all personal values. So, for example, if commentator 2 ends up saying, hey, I can barely hear my co-commentator, all I have to do is turn it up a bit. And that's all it is to it. And if it's too loud, bring it down. And that brings down all the values for the headsets. Now, let's get to the main topic here, which is Nintendo Switch audio. So right here, I've got my Joy-Con, which I'm going to be using for this whole event. We've got Pokken running, as you can hear it. I can actually bring Pokken's volume up a bit. Yeah, just like that. Now right here is my main mix, so if I'm mixing towards the, like if I want to pan something to give a depth of field to the audio, like let's say that I want something to sound like it's coming more from the right, I can bring this down, and if you're listening in headphones, you'll be able to hear that, oh, now the power's coming through the right headphone, or the right speaker. I can do the same thing over here. And now you can only hear, you can mostly hear out of the left. Really basic stuff, and from there, now we can get to work on the Nintendo Switch audio. So, the way that I've got audio currently set up is the way that a lot of people will be doing it come around Smash Ultimate time, which is they'll be running it directly from a monitor using one of these YRCA cable. Now I'm going to turn off the Switch audio just for a second to show you the cable. Now you won't be able to hear the audio, and that's because I'm taking these out, and if I take them out with the audio on, you're going to hear a very loud pop. Anytime you make any changes to your audio, you have to mute the channel before doing anything else. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of noise, and it's really obnoxious. So as you can see, they're just standard RCA cables. These ones look slightly nicer because of the gold plating. If you're buying cables, I couldn't recommend enough cables with gold plating. It allows them to just last longer, become more durable, and give a better audio signal overall. They're great, and they really only cost like $1 more than what you'd normally get. So these RCA cables, these YRCAs, are part of an RCA to 1/8 array. So for example, let's undo this real quick again. You're going to see a little bit of my face, my cute little face. So what we're going to do is let's go around to the back. And as you can see, this is the back of our monitor real quick. And right here is where I've got audio coming out of. So for this display, I'm showing using a small little speaker, which would be that blue speaker. That's where your player audio is going to be. So that could be another micro amp with a headset for players to listen from or whatever. But this is essentially your audio out for the monitor. Then there's this other part of this Y, and this part right here, out of this Y connector, is the 1/8 part of the 1/8 RCA. So you follow this, you see this little bit of white tape here. It connects back to right here. So that's how I'm running the audio currently. Now, there's one big problem with this. Well, actually, two big problems with this. So, the Nintendo Switch, you'll notice that the adapter for the Nintendo Switch is very small. It doesn't have anything on it it's just literally a USB Type-C cable. Because it's just a USB Type-C cable, purely for power, it doesn't have anything on it to help balance that line. If you remember the Wii U, the Wii U's power cable had that large brick on it, that large gray brick. That gray brick helped balance the audio line, and internally it balanced the audio line as well. The Nintendo Switch doesn't have that luxury because it's such a freeform console where you could just take it in and out of the dock. If you open up a dock, there's very little hardware in it. It's just some adapters that allow you to take advantage of the USB Type-C, which is why you could use any USB Type-C adapter on a Nintendo Switch in handheld mode, and it'll work just the same as a dock. So because of that limited amount of technology, there's nothing to help rebalance an audio line. Now, let me explain what I mean by an unbalanced audio line. For those of you who watch DreamHack Austin, you'll remember that the audio for DreamHack Austin, there was a slight buzz that was going on throughout the tournament. That slight buzz was an unbalanced line. What causes an unbalanced line is either impedance on the line, too long of a cable, so the power signal starts to break down on the audio, or a large variance of voltages on the same line, creating essentially little hiccups in the power. And since power is and since we use alternating current, when you have a hiccup in one of those lines, it ends up breaking up the power signal and creating a buzzing line on your audio line. So, because the Nintendo Switch has no way of balancing an audio line, and the way that you run audio out of the Nintendo Switch would either be through the headphone port, which is a passive line, or the way that you'd run it is the way that I have it right back here, which is through the 1/8, our little 1/8 Y connector. And the problem with this is a 1/8 does break one of these Y connectors does break your signal. It separates your signal into two. It rips them apart. It's not that noticeable until you start getting more and more breaks in the signal, but that break still exists. And while it may not be an audible amount of trouble, it's still an ugly connection. So what we're going to be doing today is replacing this Y connector and instead using a bit more optimal of a setup. Now, I've bought a new piece of equipment here called an HDMI converter, which is an HDMI to HDMI audio conversion. And what we're going to do is we're going to plug these in. Let's turn off our audio line. We're going to plug these in. Now, you'll see that this is a standard, this is a video RCA, but the cool thing about an RCA cable is if you look down it, the cables never actually touch each other. They're all just separately wrapped in the same arrangement. So they really have no effect on each other. So we just don't use this. And it's cheaper to just buy one of these. Or if you already have one around. So we're going to put this right into here. So red for your right line, white for your left. And we've got this muted, so let's take out the RCA to 1/8. Now we're going to run our red and our white. Cool. So now we've got this hooked up. Now what we need to do is we're going to take our out HDMI from our capture card, the one that's currently running into the television, or not the television, the monitor. So let's go to the back here. So we're going to take this. And we're going to run it directly into our HDMI converter down here. So if we can zoom out a bit. There we go. So we're running this directly into the HDMI converter. Now, there's something that you should note about this. Right here, there is a little switch. This switch is very useful. While you can't exactly see what it says from there, let me see if I could zoom in on this for you. Let's see. So as you can see, there we go, nice and clear. So as you can see, there's 3 lines here. There's a pass, a 2-channel, and a 5.1 channel. So I want to be on this 2-channel right here. What a 2-channel is it's an active line that separates stereo. You can also switch to this, which is your passive line. A passive line requires no power. So it's just using the power of the HDMIs. So I can actually remove this 5-volt. And if you have enough power going through your HDMI line, then it should still be able to play audio. Now, I don't want a passive line. I want an active line. Because with an active line, I will be able to get a nice balanced signal from the HDMI converter. So this right here is going to be our HDMI out for the converter. So we've got it right here. As you can see, it connects directly to the converter. Let's zoom out. And with that, we're going to turn this, plug it in right back here, right where the other cable used to be. So this is just adding another pass-through on your line. It doesn't affect the quality of your signal at all. There we go. Okay. Okay. And now, using our pass-through. So with that, we now have it going through. If I turn off this light, you should be able to see that we do have video on the monitor. And if we do this, now you are able to hear the audio. And this is running the Nintendo Switch through a balanced audio line. So we've got our signal going through. It is being balanced this time because of the HDMI converter. And yeah, that's essentially it. That's all that really goes into using this setup. You're just essentially creating a new capture card along the line, but this time it's an audio capture card instead of a video capture card. So it's capturing the audio from your capture card. Now, for those of you who use audio from your capture card regularly, like just straight through, that's fine on a personal stream. That is not fine for an event stream. The reason why is because with an event stream, you're running usually 2 commentators, you're running game audio and any other assorted audio that you might need to put in, such as like an MC or like audio from like music tracks that you play during your breaks. Small things like that. You need to make sure that you're in complete control of all your audio levels at the same time. If you've got your audio levels split between several different locations, mastering that audio is actually impossible. You'd need to be asking your chat what their audio sounds like and all that, and that's not what you do. That's not professional, because you should be in control of your own production. You should be the one who's making your production happen, not your Twitch chat. Your Twitch chat should have no aspect of you controlling your audio. And with that, that's pretty much it. So that's the first portion of the stream. It's a really simple fix. Just using a little HDMI converter, HDMI to HDMI audio, costs $20, and it's so simple. I couldn't recommend this enough. And you've got a nice clear audio signal coming through. And even if I turn this up, not even a hint of a buzz. Here. A nice, perfectly crisp audio signal because you've balanced your Nintendo Switch's audio line. Alright, so thank you guys so much for tuning into this part of the stream. We're going to take a small break, and during this small break, we are going to be quickly uploading this stream to YouTube, as well as preparing for the Vortex to Victory stream, which follows, where Weebvile and I will be playing a first to 10 in Pokken, and yeah. So, thank you for your time, and we'll be right back.